Hey there, it is Elizabeth, your customer yes business strategist. Today is Tuesday. As you know, same place, same time. Every Tuesday, we have Tasty Yeses happening, where I come to you live to teach you a topic about leadership, growing your business, pricing, marketing. And these are really timeless, classic strategies and tactics that you can adopt and take into your business, right? In order to take your business online to charge more. Now, we are in the midst of the Scale Yeses Bootcamp. Today is actually the last day of the bootcamp. And so I have some logistics that we just need to nail down and get out of the way because people are working, they are curious. If you are tuning in, say hi. Can you hear me okay? Let me know in the I am going to actually just make sure that my mic is working like it should. Let me just do a quick mic check here. I think it's working. I think it's working. Let me just see. Say hello, hello, hello. Okay, I think it's working. All right. It doesn't matter how many times I do this. Tech changes every single time. So if you're catching this live or on the replay, let me know. Type into the comments, what would you do with an extra $1,000 every month in your business? What would you do? What would you do with it if you just got an extra $1,000 in your business every single month, every single week, right? Like, imagine all the possibilities that you would be able to do in your business. In today's training, we are going to be talking about premium pricing. You're going to hear me talk about really how do you charge more? And you're going to hear me use terms like high ticket versus low ticket, which really just means higher pricing versus a lower pricing. Okay. Oftentimes, people think of leadership and they think that it has something to do with just managing people, managing a team. It's something that maybe might exist at, a job or in corporate, right? But one of the things that I want you to be able to walk away with today during this training is that premium pricing is 100% dependent on your leadership. So if you are tuning in, say hi. Let me know that you are here in the comments. Okay? Say hello, right? So just a couple of logistics because we are in the midst of Scale Yes boot camps. And then I'm going to dive right into this topic, which has been the cornerstone of my boot camp. How do you position yourself as the number one go-to expert in order to command higher pricing? Today, I'm going to give you 3 really tactical ways that you can begin to think about premium pricing in a completely different way. But all of this hinges on the timeless and classic strategy of you stepping into your leadership. So I got a couple of questions. I love how some people are catching up. They're literally like binge watching for the boot camp. I see it because I see people actually starting to do homework. They've got questions. I have that on my radar to get to you today. I did not forget about you. For the boot camp, you have until today, 11:59 p.m. to do a couple of different things. The first one is to binge watch and catch up on anything that you need to by today. Okay, by today, 11:59 p.m. Central Time. Today is also the last day for you to join me inside of the Customer Yes Lab. Okay, one of the most exciting things that I'm hearing people loving about this is that just during the bootcamp, you are going to get your course portal built for you. It is going to be done for you so that by the time that you launch that next big idea online, that business, that additional revenue stream in your business, if you already have an established business, right? You're going to have that all done, ready to go for you. And all of my folks that just aren't really big tech fans are loving that. Okay, so doors close for the Customer Yes Lab today. How do you learn more? Well, one of the fastest way, you can go to the customeryeslab.com to apply. or you can simply type clarity call into the comments and book a call with me. Now, this clarity call serves two purposes. The first one is to really help you in your next level of breakthrough from the boot camp. You don't have to have watched all of the trainings for the boot camp, but I do want you to come to the table with your 90-day game plan. Tell me what's working, what's not working. Tell me where you're stuck. During that clarity call, you and I will diagnose the 3 priorities that you should be working on in the next 90 days. I am here to serve. This clarity call is complimentary for everyone that's registered that has gone through the boot camp. This is my way to serve and show up. You don't want to miss this opportunity. I don't do this often. I only do it during the boot camps, right? So it is truly a win-win for both of us. Now, if you're interested in learning more about the Customer Yes Lab, I can definitely talk to you about that, right? But if you're not interested, that's okay with me too, because what I'm really excited about is working with people that want to work with me, that are eager to really take their idea to the next level. You've been hearing from all of my students and clients inside of the Customer Yes Lab how their lives have changed. Some of them took 3 months for transformation to happen. Some of them took a little bit longer. Some of them took a year, right? Think about it. Boa Lore took a year of us working together before she was finally to take her nonprofit to that next level, growing her team, able to crowdfund $10,000 in just 2 weeks, and really look at funding $200,000 in grants for her nonprofit that was just 2 years old by then. Sometimes people's transformations may take longer, but I can promise you that in just 90 days, you will start to feel the shift already happening inside of you. You will. That I can promise you. I can promise you that you are going to start to see a big shift in yourself. And that shift needs to happen first, because the person that you are now is not going to be the person that you are going to need to take your business to that next level. If you've heard from every single of my students, if you've been binge watching on that, you have until 11:59 tonight, right? You will hear their transformation did not happen overnight, but the key ingredient and really where the transformation began was they took action. And it was not the certain, confident kind of action. It was the uncertain, but full of faith kind of action. That's the action that I'm talking about. It starts not with one day. It starts with making today day one for you. So that's what we're going to talk about in our clarity call. You know, I really want this to be a win-win opportunity, right? So jump on the call, even if you're feeling not ready. Even if you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't done all my homework. I haven't done all of the replays. It still will add value to you. Because if you haven't found time to invest in working on your business, I often say that you've got to keep your business, your dream, top of mind, whether it's 5 minutes or 5 hours. And if you don't take this action to book that clarity call so that I could just serve you and really help you identify the 3 top priorities that you need to focus on and really help you diagnose what's working and what's not working, because you're afraid that I might sell to you or pressure to you or convince you to buy something that you're not ready for, then I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be on the same trajectory that you continue to be on, because the same doing continues to deliver the same results. Okay. I share the story of how often I say to my students and clients that the question that you should not be asking yourself, a $5 question, is whether or not this person will sell to me. The question that is really the difference between a $5 question and a $5 million question is, if this person resonates with me, how does this person sell in a way that does not feel sleazy? I got to experience this for myself so I can start to grow and learn how to do this for myself. That's really the question you should be asking yourself, right? So I want to invite you, whether or not you feel ready or not, is to take this leap of faith and just book a clarity call. Period. Just show up. I see you. I see you, me, Goot. I see you, Sandy Lowe. I see you, Doris Yep. I see you, Molly Lowe. I see all the people that show up, that have been showing up as best as they can during this boot camp. This is the difference, folks, that will make or break you in your business. This is the difference with whether or not you are showing up consistently, working on your business, working on your dream, and ultimately working on you, because you are the cause. The effect is money. Money follows you. If you ain't following your business, working on your business, you're never gonna see the sales consistently. It's a simple cause and effect. All right. So in the comments, type clarity call, and my team, Josephina and Ayana, will reach out to you to book that clarity call. Now, if you can't meet with me today, as long as you book it today, one of the things that you will be getting, just remind me on the call, is you're going to get my free guide to how to create a yes-worthy offer. This is just an additional guide to go a little deeper. If you've been looking at maybe 2 or 3 different ideas, maybe you're like, I don't know which route to go. It is literally a decision tree that will help you make a decision on where to focus for the first 90 days. Remember, we've been talking about it throughout the whole entire boot camp, how you have to build one bridge to get to the other side. Because my friends, if you are on an island and you're trying to get to the other side, as many bridges as you build, if they are not complete, you're never going to get to the other side. It is only truly one bridge from start to finish that's built that will get you to the other side. And in business, it is the same thing. This is why you've got to flip your business, just like you got to flip that house as quickly as possible, and understand the fundamentals that you need in order to really get to the other side, period, right? So here's your chance. Don't pass it up. It is only during my boot camp that I offer this, because when I say to you that I am here to serve, I brought my whole team to make this happen. You know, I say to my team day one when we start planning for this boot camp that our sole mission is to get more diverse entrepreneurs heard, seen, and well paid in the marketplace, because representation matters to me. All shades, all sizes, all life stages, no matter how old you are, I want you to be online. There are people out there that need you, need your services, need your products, and more importantly, because you are selling products and services, they need to hear your story. They need to know that they're not alone. And that is what I am committed to. And I tell my team this: I don't care whether or not I have sales or no sales during my boot camp. What I care most is, did we deliver an amazing, positive boot camp experience to each student that came through my door? Did they leave feeling like we cared about them? Did they leave feeling like, if they put in the time for the training, the homework, and the effort, that they believe that yes, they can? That's it. It's that simple. That's it. Because those that are meant for me, right? My MVP, my customers, they will come. And those that are ready to take that next journey, I am so ready to pour into you everything that I know that's been proven to work and really help you take it to that next level. I mean, just think about it. If I can pour into you coming to a free event like my boot camp, imagine the possibilities when you make the investment in yourself. It's not an investment in me. It is the investment in yourself that matters the most, right? That matters the most. And I love this. Oh, I love this feedback. Who is this? Oh, Gajoa. Gajoa said it. Okay. She said, I finally had the chance to sit down and watch your replays. Your boot camp workshop is so valuable. Thank you for doing this. Absolutely. I want every student to come through my free boot camp to feel like, yes, I can do it. And I know that you can, because if you've listened to the students' stories throughout this whole entire boot camp, they were once upon a time sitting exactly where you are right now. All it takes is one decision to change the trajectory that you're currently on. One decision, 2, commitment for the next 90 days. That's it. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. After that, we go from there. Right? So, couple more announcements. Last day is today. Book a clarity call with me. I'm here to serve. Let's look at where you are now, where you need to go in the next 90 days. Where's the gap? Let's plug that gap in, okay? Because I know your to-do list is endless, just like mine, but you got to work on the right things at the right time. When we're flipping our house, don't go shopping for those appliances and furniture yet if you don't even have your house blueprint built. Don't try to DIY your plumbing, your electrical wiring, and hope that when you are ready to put your house in the market, you can just mash it all together and it'll just work. Don't do that. Don't do that in your business. If you are really serious about building a sustainable, profitable business that you can enjoy and can get maximum income for maximum impact, book that clarity call now. Type book clarity call into the comments and my team will schedule that for you, right? And if you're like, I know that I just want to do this, then apply to join the Customer Yes Lab. What happens after you apply is I'll take a look at your application and then you and I will have a conversation and a call, right? Because I want to make sure that this is truly a win-win for both of us, right? So either way, you're going to be talking to me, right? Because what's most important to me is making sure that one, you're ready, and two, that you're going to be a really good fit to add to the community of amazing individuals that are inside of the Customer Yes Lab. I'm very protective about the culture and the vibe because one of the things that I am building is a rising tide. You know, one of the things you probably did not get from my clients' testimonials or my client interviews is truly how my students really show up for each other. We're in each other's Facebook groups, right? We try our best when people are going live and we see the notification just to hop on and say hi and engage and show that person love. I can't tell you how amazing these students are. I try to do that. They do that for me and they do that for each other, right? That's the type of community that I want to cultivate inside of the Customer Yes Lab. I don't want people that are all just about me, my event. And then why aren't you guys coming? I don't have time to come to your event. No, we make time for each other because we want to see each other thrive. I make this very clear when people join my program because when I first started, I know how nerve-wracking it is to jump on a live for the first time and be like, hello? Is this mic on? Can anyone hear me? There's like 0 viewers. Oh no. And you just feel like, oh my gosh, is this going to even make a difference? I have been there. So every single student, when they are going live for their first time, they're super nervous. And if I know it's their first time, I make every effort to show up for them. And I ask their accountability partners to show up for them. And we really are in there to truly cheer each other on. We really are. You know, if you want to learn more about the Customer Yes Lab, I mean, you start to know some of who these students are, feel free to send them a DM. Feel free to send them a message. I know I'm putting them on the spot here, but I'm pretty sure they would be open to connecting with you and sharing their experience about the Customer Yes Lab with you and how it's like to work with me. Okay, so I just really encourage you, whether or not it's with me or with someone else, is to make that decision, to really say yes to what it is that you really want so that you can disrupt the current trajectory that you are on. It was Albert Einstein that said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. What you've been doing, if you have not seen the results that you want, it's not working. You've got to disrupt it. Cool? All right. I love it. So let's dive into today's topic. We are going to be talking about, one more thing I forgot to mention with all my chit-chatting. All right. So tomorrow's, so if you are registered for the Scale Yes Bootcamp, as you know, we have had a leaderboard. So originally I said I was going to announce the winners today, but then we had a few people DM and they said, hey, I'm trying to catch up. It looks like I have until today, 11:59 p.m. Central Time to catch up. So you can still earn your points, right, until tonight. So what I'll do then is tomorrow, the 21st, I'll hop on at 12 p.m. Central Time to announce the winners. And that way, I think it's fair. We just give enough people to catch up and really ask questions and things like that today. And then we'll tally that up. And then I will jump in to announce the winner tomorrow. And tomorrow for the leaderboard, the winner gets a $50 Amazon gift card. Okay, so that's the winner for the leaderboard. Later today, we will post the secret phrase for you to win free access to my Human Speak Sales Foundation course. This is valued at $197. And for just showing up and being a part of the bootcamp and registering, you are eligible to get this. Everyone who posts the secret phrase gets free access to my $197 course on how to sell with a human connection. This is huge, right? Like, I've gotten great feedback about this. Just selling that doesn't feel sleazy, selling that feels like I just need to lead with a human connection. So those are the two announcements that I just wanted to make sure that I got out there, given that today is the final day for the bootcamp and people definitely want their prizes, right? Okay. So let's dive into today's topic about premium pricing, why leadership has to be beyond teams. I want you to just take a moment here just to, if you can, close your eyes for just a moment and just bring it to the top of mind someone that you admire for their leadership style. You have that person in your mind? Why is it that you admire this person's leadership style? Maybe it's someone that's in the public eye. Maybe it's someone personally in your life, your family. Maybe it's a mentor, or maybe a past boss, or maybe it's someone in your community that you admire, right? What is it about this person's leadership style that makes you admire them? Type it into the comments. What is the qualities or the traits that this person has that has you admiring their leadership style? You got that person in your mind, in your heart? Okay, great. Odds are you do not admire this person because of their credibility, number of years of experience, and definitely likely their job title. I'm going to bet that's not the case. What makes you admire this person is how they make you feel. Let me say that again. What you admire about this leader is how this person makes you feel. Okay? There's something about this person that inspires you. There's something about this person that just makes you feel like you can be better, do better, want to just really step up your game, right? And if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, call me out, right? So oftentimes when people hear the word leader, they often define it the way that, again, yesterday, I talked about the middle-class employee mindset versus millionaire entrepreneur mindset. That continues to be one of the most popular student favorite teachings, okay? But what happens is most of the time when people think about leadership, right, the definition that comes to mind is often because of the employee mindset. We think of leadership as like in the workplace, right, where it's someone with a fancy title, someone that's higher up the hierarchy, the organizational chart than you. And maybe someone, because of that, has more credentials or numbers of years of experience than you, right? But I'm going to invite you to take that definition and toss it out the door, right? Because all of that might give someone really great status, but that doesn't mean that they're a leader. Think about it. How many of you have had bosses in the past that were, quote, leaders, but really just really poor management styles? The difference between a leader and a manager is that a manager just simply manages people. And we often use that interchangeably, and that's what we've been conditioned to as an employee. Ever since we got our first job, maybe. My first job was when I was 15, 16 years old, right? Your boss was like your manager. And then eventually as you graduated and gradually moved up, your career path, right? Then you started to know the difference between manager and leader. That definition is still very much the middle-class employee mindset defining what a leader is. And what I have found to be true is that in running your business, you have to be a leader, not just in managing a team, not just waiting until you manage a team, but to command premium pricing, high ticket, charge more. You actually have to be perceived in the marketplace as a leader, as the number one go-to leader in your expert area. Let me say that again. In order to command premium pricing, high ticket, you have to be perceived as the number one go-to leader expert. Perceived value is what allows you to charge more. I want you to think about this. Let's think about a white t-shirt. You see that vision in your head? A white t-shirt. How is it possible that you can go to a Walmart and the number one brand in a Walmart can charge $5 for that same white t-shirt, and you turn around and can walk into a high-end brand designer, let's say Gucci store, and they can probably charge $500 for the same white t-shirt with maybe the only difference is the logo on the tag? Why is that? Same white t-shirt with just maybe a different tag. One could argue, yeah, the quality is a little bit better, right? But we're talking about a t-shirt for $5 versus a t-shirt for $500. Is it truly that different? Especially when most of them are made from a different country, right? In the same factories. What's the difference there? Perceived value. Yeah, it's your brand. It is your brand. But more importantly, it is your positioning. And if you were part of my boot camp, you would have heard me talk and teach you about positioning in a garage sale versus a department store versus a boutique shop, right? I won't cover that today. You can catch the replay for that today. But it's all about how you are positioning yourself, right? So the first tactic is really about your positioning, right? Think about it. It is perceived value. Do you position yourself as a garage sale or do you position yourself as a boutique store, right? I love this. Hi, Mina. It's so wonderful to see your lovely face. I missed you at the boot camp, right? So let's take a look here. Someone says, the first person that came to my mind right now is Annie Lee. She takes the time to see me, hear me, and be there for me when I need support from my early journey and still does nowadays. Absolutely. Absolutely. And in that, there was something about her that made you feel something, right? And so leaders are not that employee mindset definition of leadership in the workplace where they have fancy titles, years of experience, years of credentials, whatever, right? Or high, lots and lots of degrees, educational degrees and certifications, right? It is truly about how they make you feel. Okay. So the first tactic is, how are you positioning yourself? Are you in your marketing, your messaging? Are you positioning yourself? Are you talking the stories that you're sharing, the posts that you're sharing? Is that communicating that you are positioning your products and services like a garage sale, or that you're positioning yourself as a boutique store? You've got to look at your marketing, your messaging, and the content that you're sharing. Like, for example, if you heard Mei Yang's story, if you did not hear that, go back and listen to that. It's still available just for today. But she talked about her social media posts, how she used to just post about food and things she was doing every day, right? And the way that she was positioning her business was that she was not open for business. In her words, she was a secret agent that liked to eat a lot of food, right? But the moment that we optimized her social media, and I started to help her create her content that would position her as a number one go-to expert in her space, which is to be a financial wealth coach and expert, she needed to lead the way. She needed to show her audience and her customers that as a leader, this is tactic number 2, and I want to make sure you write this down, right? That as a leader, in everything that you do, you are showing your audience 3 things: that you know the way, you are the way, and you can show them the way. That is the magic formula that you need to put into everything that you do, from the content that you post to your live streams to the way that you speak. All of that needs to convey and communicate to your audience that you know the way, you are the way, and you can show them the way. Everything has to come down to those 3 pillars in order to position yourself as the number one go-to expert leader in the marketplace. And again, your leadership here has nothing to do with managing people. It has nothing to do with credentials or whatever your employee mindset definition of leadership is. The leadership definition that I want to challenge you to start to shift to is the entrepreneur mindset. Is leadership is how people experience you. Remember the leader that I asked you to think of? It was about how that person made you feel. In your business, in order to overcome pricing objections, that's too expensive. I can't afford that. Who do you think you are charging that much, right? All of those pricing objections that has to do with money has everything to do with how you make them feel. It's how other people experience you. Do they experience you as a person who has positioned herself as a garage sale, but now she's just trying to add a whole bunch of zeros and trying to get away with selling that product or service at the garage sale? Ain't nobody having that. Not at the garage sale. Like, why are you playing me? Why are you trying to charge $100 for this when everything else at the garage sale is like $20? That's just ridiculous, right? You know what I'm talking about? Raising your prices is not simply adding a whole bunch of zeros to it. It is about how you position yourself, which goes back to number 1, right? So number 2 was leadership, making sure that you really shift the definition of leadership and that all of your content really communicates to your audience that you know the way, you are the way, and you show the way, okay? Again, how you make them feel, how other people experience you is truly what an entrepreneur mindset's definition of leadership really can be. And what it all has to do with premium pricing is how you are perceived, the value that you are perceived in the marketplace. Okay? The value, the perceived value in the marketplace. When people say to me, I can't find my ideal customers because they're saying I'm too expensive. Oh, I can't find my ideal customers because they don't have money to pay me my worth, right? I'm like, pricing is irrelevant. You know how I know it's irrelevant? Because even your free stuff, your free workshops, your free consult calls, your freebie lead magnets and content and checklist and books and guides, all your freebies, people still say no to them too, even when they're free. There's still a pricing objection for free stuff, which is $0. That's how I know pricing is irrelevant. Because if there was no pricing objection, all your free stuff, right? Your free workshop, it would have been sold out. Because people are like, oh my gosh, it's free. I got to go. Boom, sold out. Right? Oh my gosh, that's a free gift. Oh, I love it. Send it to me. Sold out. So if there's a pricing objection at $0 for free, why wouldn't there be a pricing objection at $10, at $100, at $1,000, at $10,000, and at $100,000? Tell me why there wouldn't be a pricing objection at every level. My friends, pricing is irrelevant. Let me say that again. Type this into the comments. Pricing is irrelevant when it comes to sales. During the bootcamp, you learned how we all make decisions based on emotions. You learned about how I help my students and clients inside the Customer Yes Lab take those emotions and turn it into currency, tangible benefits that allows you to position yourself as the number one go-to leader expert to charge more, period. Pricing is irrelevant. Pricing is irrelevant. There are pricing objections at every level. I know that to be true. You know that to be true because people still say no even when your stuff is free. It's worse when it's free. They value it even less because they registered and they don't even show up because they're like, oh, they don't have nothing to lose. You got everything to lose, but not them, right? So that Number 3. So the third thing, so the first thing, I'm just going to recap. The first thing is making sure that you're positioning yourself as a number one go-to expert leader. Look at the content you're sharing in your marketing and messaging. Are you positioning yourself as the garage sale or the boutique shop, right? We talked about that a little bit more in the boot camp, but if you weren't able to make it, that's okay. You can still think about your messaging, your content, the stories that you share. Again, what kind of content are you posting out there? Number 2, right? You've got to make sure that everything that you do in your business, from your marketing to your digital marketing, to your speaking, to your communication, to your live, to your writing, your posts, everything, your operations, the way that you deliver your products and services, does it tell your audience that you know the way, you are the way, and you show the way? That is the 3 pillars that you need in order to command high pricing, okay? The last tip I will share with you, right, is again, because premium pricing is all based on perceived value, it's not your product and service. It is your customer yes-worthy offer. We covered this in depth during the boot camp, so you could do a search for that where I literally show you step by step and answer questions on what it takes to create a irresistible customer yes-worthy offer. But in a nutshell, during this training, it's, again, perceived value. So what are you actually putting into your offer? I'll give you an example. A book versus a course, right? Same content, same teachings, same expertise, but delivered differently, right? A book or a course, which one do you think you can charge more on? A book or a course? Likely a course, right? Books, $20. A course, $100, maybe even $2,000 for a course. Again, perceived value in the marketplace, okay? Same content, same information, different levels of transformation, I would argue, but we won't get into that because if you missed that training, that was day 2 where we talked about how you actually charge more based on transformation and not information with picking your online income stream. But for simplicity's sake, right? Perceived value, what are you throwing in your offer, right? Is it a book or is it a course? I want you to think about that, okay? Course or a book, which one do you think you can charge more? Type it into the comments. Odds are it's the course, right? The course, okay? Now, strategy. You combine both. And now you're able to increase your price point even more. Do you hear what I'm saying on that? So let's say your book is $20. You have an option to sell your book for $20. Your course is $1,000, and you have an option now to sell it for $1,000. Do you pick the course or the book? Odds are people might say, well, I think that this is why, again, pricing is irrelevant because people will think it is the same. It is less effort to try to sell a book than it is to just raise some price point. Let me back up a bit. This is where pricing is irrelevant because most people think that because it's a lower price point that it will be less effort to sell. But let me just bring it back to reality for you. If you were to try to sell a book, is it more effort or less effort than trying to sell a course? Like your effort going into it, it's about the same. You still got to figure out who's my ideal customer? Where am I going to promote it? How do I get people to learn about it? How do I educate them? You're still taking the same steps. That's why I say pricing is so irrelevant because people think that just because you charge less, more people will buy. But I'm like, no, that doesn't make any logical sense at all because whether it's a book or a course, you're still putting in the same effort. So why not go the higher route, right? Same effort and get more money back for your effort than the less expensive route. All right. So now we talk about course and a book and a course. So if the book is $20 and your course is about $1,000, perceived value, combine the two, and now you can charge $1,500 for that. And you're still making more money than selling a book for $20. Now, if you're with me that it's still the same level of effort in terms of marketing it and promoting it to get sales, then what you've just done is by combining your book and your course, you've just now added more value and just completely charged way more than if you ever did just trying to sell your book. Are you hearing me on that? I want you to see the power in that. Are you seeing the power of perceived value and looking at your products and services differently and creating a yes, irresistible offer? Are you seeing the power in that? Send me some fire. Let me know that you're here, right? Nina says, yes. I love it. So that's just like a really simple way that I want you to think about how you can charge for premium pricing. And your leadership, the faster and sooner you adopt that and own that and grow into that, the faster you can own how much you're charging. Okay? I can't tell you how key this is, right? Because thank you. Mina sent me some fires. I love it. I love it. It gives me energy to keep going, right? I can't tell you how important this is. Because again, people buy from leaders because of how they make them feel. And if you feel like an imposter, if you feel like you're not worth what you want to charge, right? And you just added a couple of zeros there, people will see right through that. They will see right through that. Okay? Because in business, people buy you first before they buy anything else you've got to sell. That's why the way that I define a millionaire, entrepreneur mindset for leadership is that leadership is how people experience you because you know the way, you are the way, this is you being, and you can show them the way, which is the products and services and the offer that you're selling. That is showing them there's a solution out there that's the best solution or the better solution than anything else. And then the no is just demonstrating your credibility, your experience, and why you're the expert. And again, credibility here, folks, is not about years and years of schooling, education, degrees, fancy titles. Credibility here is just when you talk, is it clear? Right? That's what I'm talking about. So I want to just go ahead and share with you an opportunity if you've been sitting there and you're like, I hear what Elizabeth is saying, but I really would love just to learn, what is the first step that I can lean into to start to really understand what leadership is about. I want to invite you to reach out to me. I'm going to share my screen here for what I call leaning into your strengths to sell and influence. Okay. And what I'm going to just invite you to do, because this is what I do for each of my students and clients. This is just an example of a strengths assessment that I did. I'm showing you mine. Okay. So you can see what I'm made of. Okay. You can see what I'm made of. Okay. So I love this assessment because not only does it tell you your strengths, but it also tells you your influencing style and your selling style. How awesome is that? Right? So for me, now you can see a little bit more about me, but you can see that my assessment tells me that I am a maverick. Okay. A maverick is someone who's innovative and outside the box thinker who is undaunted by failure. Okay. Now, I won't go into how to read the self versus self concept and synthesis, but I just want you to know that this one really tells you how you perceive yourself and how you flex your strengths based on how you believe others expect you to be. Okay. And so then here's just an example from the assessment that tells you about what my influencing style is. And many of you, I've heard the DMs feedback is, oh, Elizabeth, I love your energy. I love your energy and your passion. Well, based on this, right, assessment, you can see why. My influencing style, as well as my selling style, is that I bring a lot of enthusiasm to it, right? And there's a little bit of eagerness to process, to keep moving quickly, right? And I'm persistent, right? And the truth is that every style will have this assessment. It'll tell you exactly what your selling and your influencing style is, so you know how to lean into your strengths to sell and influence. How amazing is this? And it even tells you how to work with other people and what you can do to better influence others in terms of strengths. Are you loving this? Okay, so if this is something that you would love to work with me one-on-one on, just type strengths into the comments. And for only $97, you will get this assessment, and then we will get an hour call where you and I will sit down after you've taken this assessment, and we will go through this. We will go through this so that I can help you better understand how to lean into your strengths and therefore your leadership to sell and influence. Does that sound like a plan? All right. So, really, if you've been struggling with how to do this and you're like, Elizabeth, I want to work with you, but I'm not ready yet for that investment to really take my business to that next level, like, this is baby step. And so I want to encourage you to lean into your strengths and start to discover what that is for you so that you can start to really own up to your leadership. Now, you can see why inside of the Customer Yes Lab, it is a year-long commitment because it just takes not so much time to launch, right? We can launch as quickly as possible in just 90 days, but it's the internal work. It is the recognizing and discovering what your strengths are and understanding how to develop it and direct it. Like, how do I direct my strengths to how I influence people? How do I direct my strengths to how I sell? How do I direct my strengths to keep me working on my business, right? That's the part. And of course, life, time, kids, other people's demands and priorities that makes it really challenging to grow and work on your business, right? And so if you are ready to really step into how do I begin to command higher pricing and really start with what is my strength so that I can start to take on my leadership, I want to encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity, to take this assessment, sit down with me one-on-one for only $97 and literally look at this and better understand what your strengths are and how they show up with the way you influence and the way that you sell, right? So after this is done, I'll put the link on above so that you can learn a little bit more. But just for short, if you're watching this and you don't have time to find the link and you just want my team to DM you the link, just type strengths into the comments to learn more. And then we can make that link available to you and you can check it out. You can book the call, book the assessment, and let's just make sure that you start to really take that huge first step, which is to discover your strengths so that you can step into your leadership, so that you can step into commanding higher prices, especially in the online space. Okay? How many of you are loving this right now? Right? So this is one of those assessments that I truly have everyone from my teams to my students and clients take, because the more that you can understand what your own perception of your strengths are and how you change, okay, how you adapt to what you believe others people's expectations of you, right? This is one of the few assessments that look at how you adapt yourself and it flex to how other people think of you, right? This is one of those few assessments that do that. And so then you start to look at what your influencing style is and what your selling style is. Does that make sense? So type strengths into the comments if you want to get the link to learn more about it and want to take the assessment, work with me one-on-one on really how do we take that to the next level. Okay? So as we wrap up today's training, there's a lot of things happening, right? We got the boot camp, Scoliosis boot camp that's happening. And today I really want to drop in as we begin to really take a moment here to begin to help you recognize that leadership is required to command premium pricing, because leadership is more than just managing a team. Okay. Leadership is how people perceive, how people experience you and how they perceive your value. And honestly, when you charge more and you're positioning yourself as the number one go-to expert, you are perceived as more valuable Just like that white t-shirt, right? Remember we were talking about that white t-shirt? How is it possible that a white t-shirt at Walmart for $5, right? The same t-shirt with a Gucci label can be sold at $500? How is that even possible? It's just a white t-shirt. It is all based on perception, perceived value. That's why I say to you, again, I keep saying pricing is so irrelevant because it has everything to do with your positioning and how you're perceived to add value and your customer yes for the irresistible offer. Okay? So until then, same place, same time next week, next Tuesday, I will continue to talk about, again, pricing and marketing and leadership. So I will see you then. Take care now.